I chose to participate in the QEP because it's a great opportunity to learn, to collaborate, to test new approaches in the classroom. It's a critical part of the university's accreditation. Also, I'm part of a team that's led by our department chair, Dr. Pedro Arce, that submitted a white paper when the topic for this upcoming QEP was going to be decided upon. And that white paper was focused on the Renaissance Foundry. And so the Renaissance Foundry is a platform that's been developed being developed for multiple years. It now is a major component of the College of Engineering strategic plan, focused on Renaissance engineering. That team represented individuals from engineering, from the School of Nursing, from the College of Business, from the College of Education. And so, I also felt that there was kind of that I had a stake in the game, so to speak. So. Creative inquiry to me is a process where students, faculty, other stakeholders can explore problems within specific disciplines, problems at the interface of multiple disciplines, and also to develop solutions. And those solutions to real-world problems, or to explore solution methodologies. And so that's what creative inquiry means to me. There's two principal courses that I'd like to refer to. One is a senior level chemical engineering biotransport course. This game board that's displayed behind me is kind of responsive to some of the stuff that we do along the lines of creative inquiry. The other course is a clinical immersion and disciplinary interfaces course that I co-teach with Dr. Melissa Geis from the School of Nursing. In the biotransport course, students from chemical engineering are challenged to identify an opportunity for innovation. That opportunity for innovation needs to somehow relate to healthcare. And so students are guided in their discovery of some type of real-world problem or unmet medical need. And they're coached through a process to generate ideas for ways to respond to that problem or to develop a prototype that's responsive to that problem. The Jeopardy game board that's being displayed here, I refer to it as Jeopardy. It's actually a reverse Jeopardy game board, and so the popular television show Jeopardy, where there are categories that are displayed in the dollar values, they're replaced in this particular case by, for example, medical technologies that utilize some aspect of biotransport. And underneath each one of these categories is some type of question that I would expect students in the classroom to know based on prior courses or based on activity within our class. And so I will divide the class into two teams. I refer to those teams as sides, and so this side and that side. And as we go through the game itself, different categories are selected and questions are exposed. And then I ask, and then whichever team or side raises its hand first, that team gets the opportunity to answer the question. And so once that's done, I don't say if the answer is right or wrong. I just ask the other side, is that an appropriate response, or do we need to have some more discussion? And so a lot of times the answers are right, and a lot of times they're, well, maybe it's a point for discussion. And so we have that discussion, and eventually we all come to an agreement that the answer that's been kind of laid on the table is an appropriate response to the question that's been posed, and one side gets a point. Also, the game itself kind of creates a framework for where one might look to identify or find an opportunity for innovation. And so in this particular version of the game board, we're talking about medical technologies. I encourage them to maybe look within the context of a medical device or look within the context of rare diseases to see if they might find some type of unmet medical need, and perhaps that forms the basis of their projects. It's all an experiment, and I never know, to what extent this is going to allow them to kind of focus. And so I don't constrain their prototypes to be something that's consistent with the games. The key is that they identify some type of unmet medical need, some type of opportunity, and that they develop a prototype that's responsive to that problem that they've identified. And so those two courses in particular are ways that we've been implementing or testing or exploring creative inquiry in the classroom. I think the most exciting aspects are that it really is cross-cutting. I think it cuts across every single discipline on campus. I think that's totally consistent with the prior QEPs as well, and so I really like that aspect of it. I also like the aspect that there's some focus on research, undergraduate research, for example, through the CISE, the Creative Inquiry Summer Experiences Program, and so students can submit grant applications and they can do research in some type of laboratory over the summer, and so I really like that aspect as well. It's a great program. As educators, I think we're all very interested in learning, so I think it's a great opportunity to learn. I think also it demonstrates to students in the classroom the concept of lifelong learning, because I know every time that I go into a class, and by the time I come out, I've learned so much in the process, and so I learn a tremendous amount from the students. And so part of that is my enthusiasm for lifelong learning, but I think participating in the QEP and the EDGE program kind of fosters that. Also, I think that I feel part of a broader community of like-minded individuals, the leaders of the University QEP and others who have submitted proposals for the QEP, and so I feel part of that community, and I also find that very exciting.